House will come back to order. The House will come back to order. House will come back to order. The sooner everybody's back in their seats, the sooner we can take this train out of the station and head home. Mr. Clerk, Clerk will read the caption to a group of privilege resolutions.
I don't have this list.
I think
Congratulating and commending Johnny's Hideaway. Recognizing and commending the
Mr.
2020
Clerk, can we
graduating class.
pull that out and vote separately?
Recognizing and commending the 2020 class of Bremen High School. Commemorating the 2019 Freaknik Festival and After 9 Partners Adult Health Fair. Honoring the life and memory of Breonna Taylor. Honoring the life and memory of Andre Moses White. Honoring the life and memory of Joyce Dupree White. Commending the Mableton Improvement Coalition. Recognizing the month of July 2020 as Fibroid Awareness Month at the state capitol. You want to read? Recognizing and commending Mayor Phil Best on his outstanding service as president of the Georgia Municipal Association. Good. Honoring the life and memory of Rayshard Brooks. And for other purposes, that completes the reading of the privilege resolutions.
What purpose does Chairman Dollar rise?
Speaker, I make a motion.
State your motion.
Make a motion that unnumbered resolution LC 1120542 be removed for so it can be further perfected.
Gentleman has moved that the unnumbered resolution be withdrawn and held back for further work. Is there objection? Chair hears none, and it is so ordered. Is there any objection to adopting the remainder of the privilege resolutions? The chair hears none, and the resolutions are adopted. All right, Mr. Clerk, let's ring the bell. We need members and we need people who are carrying bills to report here. We're going to be here longer than I had hoped to keep you. We can stay till midnight. Chair recognizes Chairman Tanner for a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that this House agree to the Senate substitute to House Bill 511.
Chairman Tanner has moved that this House agree to the Senate substitute to House Bill 511. Clerk will read the caption.
House Bill 511 to be titled an act to amend titles 32, 36, 45, 48, and 50 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to highways, bridges, and ferries, local governments.
Chair recognizes Chairman Tanner to explain his motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I guess it was last year now. It's kind of hard to keep up with the dates since it's been an extended session, but we had a lot of conversations around House Bill 511 dealing with transit in rural Georgia. But what you have before you today is fairly straightforward and simple. It's been condensed down to really just address a couple of things. One, we created through House Bill 930 the ATL a few years ago, and one of the things that the ATL board has requested is some cleanup language around their voting procedures for members, for new members. We've had issues of whether or not they where they wanted to meet for those votes, whether or not you could call in, or whether or not you could have a proxy, or whether or not you could do it over the phone. So this just cleans it up and makes it simple across the board, the same at every meeting. It also says that the new board members, the election will be held during the time the General Assembly is in session. It'll be held here at the Capitol because the majority of the members voting for that are legislators. So it'll be held during the regular session of the General Assembly here at the Capitol. If a vacancy occurs outside the General Assembly time, then the chairman of that will call, the chairman of the ATL will call for the meeting, and the meeting will either be held here at the Capitol or it will be held somewhere within the district that the election is occurring for. So that's there. It also makes it clear that in order to vote, the voting will be done by secret ballot. There'll be no proxies, no teleconferences, no technology, or appointing another member to vote for you. So if you want to vote, you've got to be there in person to do that. Again, making it clear on the front end, fair and across the board for everybody. And then it also, one of the things actually is really unnecessary at this point because we've already voted on this in another piece of legislation, but it's in this bill at the very end, the last section, Section 6. If you remember in House Bill 170, there was the indexing that's done. Right now, that index is lower because of the economy, so it's actually lower than typical. But this extends the consumer pricing index out for fuel, motor vehicle fuel to 2025. It's set to expire July 1st, 2022. Again, we've already voted on that in another bill that's already passed out of this House and out of the Senate and is now over in the at the governor's office, and that was House Bill 1098, I believe, that's passed this chamber already. So be glad to answer any questions. Again, this used to be a very complicated bill, but it's come down to really just cleaning up ATL language around the election process. With that, Mr. Speaker, I'm happy to answer questions.
Chair recognizes Chairman Martin to your left for a question.
Chairman Tenner, you yield.
I do.
I have a question. It took me a minute to find the bill, and it's probably right there in front of me, but I'll ask it for brevity to be clear. Isn't it true that I'm concerned about the calling of the meetings when we're out of session? We had, trying to deliver this in the form of a question, isn't it true we had an issue with that happening this year where there was a poll done of where members could come, and the feeling was, depending on who could come on what day, was where the members, where the meeting was called, and then there was an issue around could you vote electronically. I understand, isn't it true, the gentleman's taking care of that with the bill if you can't vote electronically. I just would ask that there's notice given and the chair will call the meeting and you will be there. It won't be a poll to see who can come on what day, and then the meeting would be called. So could you articulate how that's done a little bit, or point me to that in the bill? Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I'll be glad to. It's actually going to be done by the chair if it's outside the time of the General Assembly meeting. If it's during the time a normal election will take place during the months we're here at the General Assembly, that will always occur at the Capitol. If there's a vacancy that occurs, then the chair of the actual ATL, not the chair of one of the county commissions, but the chair of the ATL, who's appointed by the governor, so it'll be an independent person, will call the election, and that call of the election will be done either here at the Capitol or at another place within the district, and there'll be at least 7 calendar days notice given stating the time, the place, and the purpose of the meeting. So that would be called by the ATL chair either here at the Capitol or at another place designated at the call of the chair in at least 7 days in advance. And again, you have to be present to vote. And that, just for quick reference, that would be lines 88 through 90 would give you would show you the information around the call of the meeting. Mr. Speaker, I'm happy to answer another question if there is one.
I do not see any.
Mr. Speaker, with that, I would ask for your favorable consideration to agree to the Senate substitute to House Bill 511. Thank you.
On the gentleman's motion that the House agree to the Senate substitute to House Bill 511, all those in favor will vote aye. Those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines and call the roll.
Alexander, Manolowitz, Barr, Barton, Belton, Bennett, Bentley, Benton, Beverly, Blackman, Bodie, Bruce, Burns, Carpenter, Carson, Chokus, Clark H., Collins, Cooper, Corbett, Dempsey, Dickey, Dollar, Drenner, Dubnik, Evstration, England, Irwin, Fleming, Fry, Gaines, Gardner, Glanton, Gravely, Harrell, Hatchett, Hawkins, Hitchens, Holcomb, Holmes, Houston, Hughley, Jackson M., Jaspers, Jones J., Kelly, Kendrick, Knight, LaHood, Laricchia, Lumsden, Martin, Mathiak, McCall, Morris G., Newton, Nix, Oliver, Parrish, Parsons, Petrie, Perkel, Powell, Reeves, Rhodes, Rich, Ridley, Rutledge, Scoggins, Setzler, Silcox, Smith L., Smith R., Smith V., Smyrie, Stevens, Tankersley, Tanner, Tarvin, Taylor, Thomas E., Trammell, Washburn, Watson, Welch, Werkheiser, Wiedauer, Williams A., Williamson, Yerda, Allen, Bazemore, Bernau, Cannon, Carter, Clark D., Clark J., Cook, Davis, Douglas, Dreyer, Donahue, Earhart, Evans, Frazier, Gilligan, Gertler, Henson, Hill, Hogan, Holland, Holly, Hobson, Howard, Hutchinson, Jackson D., Jones S., Jones T., Jones V., Couch, Kennard, Lopez Romero, Marin, McLean, McLaurin, McLeod, Meeks, Mitchell, Moore B., Moore C., Morris M., Nelson, Wen, Paris, Prince, Pullen, Robichaux, Saints, Schofield, Scott, Shannon, Sharper, Smith M., Thomas A.M., Turner, Walensky, Wilkerson, Williams M.F., Williams N., Wilson, Beasley Teague, Bonner,
Yes.
Buckner,
Yes.
Burchett,
Yes.
Caldwell,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Cantrell,
Yes.
Dickerson, Dukes, Gamble,
Yes.
Gilliard,
Yes.
Gordon, Green,
Yes.
Gullett,
Yes.
Jones, J.B.,
Yes.
Kirby,
Yes.
Lott,
Yes.
Mathis,
Yes.
Metz, Momtahan, Park,
Yes.
Pruitt,
Yes.
Rogers, Singleton.
No.
Stovall.
Yes.
Williams R.
Yes.
Beasley Teague. Bodie. Bruce. Cannon. Carpenter. Clark H. Dickerson. Drenner. Dreyer. Dukes. Evans. Fry. Gordon. Harrell. Howard. Jones V. Metz. Mitchell. Morris M. Powell. Ridley. Thomas E. Welch.
Members will examine the board and make sure that it is correct. Representative Mitchell votes yes. Any others? Howard, Representative Howard votes yes. Any others? Any others? Clerk will lock the machines on the gentleman's motion. The ayes are 149, the nays are 8. And this House has agreed to the Senate substitute to House Bill 511. We're going back now to the rules calendar. Clerk will read the caption to Senate Bill 340.
Senate Bill 340 by Senator Beach the 21st, Donzel the 27th, Black of the 8th, Martin of the 9th, Brass the 28th, and others, being entitled an act to amend Chapter 4, Title 1 of the Official Code of Georgia, annotated relating to holidays and observances, so as to provide that September 1 of each year shall be Childhood Cancer Awareness Day in Georgia. This bill having referred to the Committee on Health and Human Services, that committee recommends that this bill do pass.
Chair recognizes Representative Silcox to present the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise today to present Senate Bill 340. This bill simply states that September 1st is officially designated in the code as Childhood Cancer Awareness Day, which seems insignificant, but which in fact I have come to learn will allow our nonprofit organizations that raise money in this area to raise substantially more funds to hopefully cure these illnesses of childhood cancer, of which I am a survivor. So I respectfully ask for your favorable consideration on Senate Bill 340. If there are no questions, I'll yield the well.
I do not see any questions. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All those in favor of the passage of the bill will vote aye. Those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines.
Alexander, Anulowicz, Barr, Barton, Belton, Bennett, Bentley, Benton, Beverly, Blackman, Bodie, Bruce, Burns, Carpenter, Carson, Chokas, Clark H., Collins, Cooper, Corbett, Dempsey, Dickey, Dollar, Drenner, Dubnik, Evstration, England, Irwin, Fleming, Fry, Gaines, Gardner, Glanton, Gravely, Harrell, Hatchett, Hawkins, Hitchens, Holcomb, Holmes, Houston, Hughley, Jackson M., Jaspers, Jones J., Kelly, Kendrick, Knight, LaHood, Laricchia, Lumsden, Martin, Mathiak, McCall, Morris G., Newton, Nix, Oliver, Parrish, Parsons, Petrie, Perkel, Powell, Reeves, Rhodes, Rich, Ridley, Rutledge, Scoggins, Setzler, Silcox, Smith L., Smith R., Smith V., Smyrie, Stevens R., Tankersley, Tanner, Tarvin, Taylor, Thomas E., Trammell, Washburn, Watson, Welch, Werkheiser, Wiedauer, Williams A., Williamson, Yerda, Allen, Bazemore, Bernal, Cannon, Carter, Clark D., Clark J., Cook, Davis, Douglas, Dreyer, Donahue, Earhart, Evans, Frazier, Gilligan, Gertler, Henson, Hill, Hogan, Holland, Holly, Hobson, Howard, Hutchinson, Jackson D., Jones S., Jones T., Jones V., Kausch, Kennard, Lopez Romero, Marin, McLean, McLaurin, McLeod, Meeks, Mitchell, Moore B., Moore C., Morris M., Nelson, Huen, Paris, Prince, Pullen, Robichaud, Saints, Schofield, Scott, Shannon, Sharper, Smith M., Thomas A.M., Turner, Walensky, Wilkerson, Williams M.F., Williams M., Wilson, Beasley Teague, Bonner,
Yes.
Buckner,
Yes.
Burchett, Caldwell,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Cantrell,
Yes.
Dickerson, Dukes, Gamble,
Yes.
Gilliard,
Yes.
Gordon, Green,
Yes.
Gullett, Jones, J.B., Kirby,
Yes. Yes.
Lott,
Yes.
Mathis,
Yes.
Metz, Momtahan, Park,
Yes. Yes.
Rogers, Singleton, Stovall,
Yes.
Williams R.,
Yes.
Alexander, Allen, Anulowitz, Beasley Teague, Carpenter, Carter, Drenner, Dukes, Evans, Gordon, Harrell, Holly, Houston, Jackson M., Jones T., Kennard, McCall, McLean, Metz, Wen, Paris, Powell, Sharper, Smith M., Tankersley, Tanner, Wilkerson.
Members will make sure the board is correct. And the clerk will lock the machines. On the passage of Senate Bill 340, the ayes are 159, the nays are 0. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Chair recognizes Representative Perkle for a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that this House agree to the Senate substitute of HB 780.
Representative Perkle moves that this House agree to the Senate amendment to House Bill 780. The clerk will read the caption.
House Bill 780 to be entitled an act to amend Code Section 50:1634 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating the powers and duties of the State Properties Commission generally.
Chair recognizes Representative Perkle to explain the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This bill is a really good bill. The only changes that the Senate made to this bill involve tightening up the language regarding the utilities. This has to do with property that is the easements for. Boy, I am really tongue-tied on this one, Mr. Speaker, and it's a simple bill. But when we have an easement, a utility easement, that does not require an outside appraisal if it is solely and directly benefiting the state. Tightens up the language. It's a good bill. Thank you, sir.
On the gentleman's motion that this House agree to the Senate amendment to House Bill 780, all those in favor will vote aye, those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines and call the roll.
Alexander, Hanelowitz, Barr, Barton, Belton, Bennett, Bentley, Benton, Beverly, Blackman, Bodie, Bruce, Burns, Carpenter, Carson, Chokus, Clark H., Collins, Cooper, Corbett, Dempsey, Dickey, Dollar, Drenner, Dubnik, Efstration, England, Irwin, Fleming, Fry, Gaines, Gardner, Glanton, Gravely, Harrell, Hatchett, Hawkins, Hitchens, Holcomb, Holmes, Houston, Hughley, Jackson M., Jaspers, Jones J., Kelly, Kendrick, Knight, LaHood, LaRicchia, Lumsden, Martin, Mathiak, McCall, Morris G., Newton, Nix, Oliver, Parrish, Parsons, Petrie, Perkle, Powell, Reeves, Rhodes, Rich, Ridley, Rutledge, Scoggins, Setzler, Silcox, Smith L., Smith R., Smith V., Smyrie, Stevens R., Tankersley, Tanner, Tarvin, Taylor, Thomas E., Trammell, Washburn, Watson, Welch, Werkheiser, Wiedauer, Williams A., Williamson, Yerda, Allen, Bazemore, Bernau, Cannon, Carter, Clark D., Clark J., Cook, Davis, Douglas, Dreyer, Donahue, Earhart, Evans, Frazier, Gilligan, Gertler, Henson, Hill, Hogan, Holland, Holly, Hobson, Howard, Hutchinson, Jackson D., Jones S., Jones T., Jones V., Couch, Kennard, Lopez Romero, Marin, McLean, McLaurin, McLeod, Meeks, Mitchell, Moore B., Moore C., Morris M., Nelson, Huen, Paris, Prince, Pullen, Robichaux, Saints, Schofield, Scott, Shannon, Sharper, Smith M., Thomas A.M., Turner, Walensky, Wilkerson, Williams M.F., Williams N., Wilson, Beasley Teague, Bonner,
Yes.
Buckner,
Yes.
Burchett, Caldwell,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Cantrell,
Yes.
Dickerson,
Yes.
Dukes,
Yes.
Gamble,
Yes.
Gilliard,
Yes.
Gordon, Green,
Yes.
Gullett,
Yes.
Jones, J.B.,
Yes.
Kirby,
Yes.
Lott,
Yes.
Mathis,
Yes.
Metz, Momtahan, Park,
Yes.
Pruitt, Rogers, Singleton, Stovall,
Yes.
Williams R.,
Yes.
Anulowitz, Beasley Teague, Carpenter, Clark H., Clark J., Drenner, Frazier, Gilligan, Gordon, Harrell, Hogan, Holland, Holly, Hobson, Howard, Jones V., McCall, McLean, Metz, Oliver, Paris, Pullen.
Members will look at the board and make sure it's accurate. And the clerk will lock the machine. On the gentleman's motion that this House agree to the Senate amendment to House Bill 780, the ayes are 162, the nays are 0, and this House has agreed. Chair recognizes Representative Reeves for a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that the House agree to the Senate substitution to House Bill 846.
Representative Reeves has moved that this House agree to the Senate substitute to House Bill 846. Clerk will read the caption.
House Bill 846 to be titled an act to amend Title 48 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to revenue and taxation so as to provide that interest paid on refunds of overpayment of taxes and past due taxes shall be equal to the bank prime loan rate.
Chair recognizes Representative Reeves to explain his motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think this is going to be my last time up here today, I hope. So, but House Bill 846, this is a bill that has combined a few other matters. The first part of this is the annual IRC revenue code update, and it has actually been updated since we updated it earlier this year in January. It now includes the CARES Act and the March 27th, 2020 date that corresponds with that. This is the thing we do every year that gets us in compliance with federal code, and if this doesn't pass, then it actually has a fiscal impact of approximately $154 million to Georgia taxpayers. So this compliance is very important. Second part of the bill is actually the underlying bill, which is Representative Corbett's bill about direct pay permits, which this body passed overwhelmingly already earlier this session. And that just simply takes something that's in DOR rules and regulations and moves it to code. The other two aspects of this bill are two of the things that we are, obviously everybody in this room is aware we're in new times and we're in life in the COVID era, and our state has been trying very hard to do what we can to work with businesses and also to make sure that we're prepared for future flare-ups, which I think we all realize that until there's a vaccine, that is going to be part of our life and what we deal with. And this bill is offering some great things. The first deals with PPE. This bill creates a tax credit for jobs that for businesses that produce PPE items. Obviously, everybody in this room hit some point in March or April where you were being contacted daily by folks in your district needing PPE and how to get it. What Georgia needs to do is establish that we produce and we create and manufacture PPE here in Georgia. And so this bill adds a very simple $1,250 tax credit for a job that is directly involved in the manufacture and creation of PPE. The other thing that this bill does is obviously everyone's district, there's no immunity here. Everybody's district across the state has many businesses that have suffered greatly. And there's been a program in Georgia for almost 20 years called the Job Tax Credits and the Quality Job Tax Credit programs that establishes tiers of tax credits when jobs are created in areas, and the more rural and economically challenging districts they are, counties they are, the more the benefit that they are eligible for, and it's a sliding scale. And so what this part of the bill does is every business, whatever their 2019 number was, which is based on the number of employees, there's a corresponding tax credit that's based on whatever their 2019 tax credit was. And what the state is going to do is we're going to go ahead and allow businesses that receive that to receive that same number in 2020 and 2021. And this is, we've got to do something, and this is something that we can do to try to help our businesses as they rebound from the COVID devastation. Mr. Speaker, with that, I'll be happy to take any questions.
You have questions. Chair recognizes Chairman Knight to your right for a question.
To the gentleman, do you yield?
I do.
Do you understand that CPAs and tax preparers across the state of Georgia are quite nervous and quite anxious to get this IRC update?
Yeah, I've definitely been made to understand that.
I know that unusual times, in fact, it's the first time, little trivia, since 1955 that the text deadline has not been on April 15th or a day or two before, depending on weekend or holiday. So indeed, uncertain times, but as far as the profession and making sure that the Georgia taxpayers and the preparers who are helping them have certainty, I certainly want to thank you for the IRC update part of this. And again, I want to make sure everyone knows that that dollar figure that you just said, the $155 million has been included in the governor's revenue estimate, and we need to get this out there ASAP.
That's right.
July 15th is right upon us.
Thank you for that. And yes, I know that there are several CPAs in the room, yourself, Representative Wilkerson, Representative Carson, and I do understand how important this is for the CPA world. Mr. Speaker, I'll yield for another question.
Chair recognizes Representative Carson. He waves. Chair recognizes Representative Jasmine Clark to your right up in the gallery for a question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Does the gentleman yield?
I do.
Just for clarification, does this bill create a new tax credit for PPE?
It does.
Manufacturers?
That's correct.
Does the gentleman further yield?
Yes.
Do we have any idea the fiscal impact of a new tax credit?
The fiscal impact of this, since the proposal includes hand sanitizer, the fiscal impact is a range of 4.3 to, I believe, 13.1 million is the range. It's highly unlikely that we will see the higher end of that range, and it's simply because the tax credit is only $1,250 per job. So it's more likely, we'll obviously know in time, but it is more likely that that will be towards the lower end of that estimation.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I will yield the well. Let's get this important bill passed, everybody. Thank
On
you.
the gentleman's motion that the House agree to the Senate substitute to House Bill 846, all those in favor will vote aye. Those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines and call the roll.
Alexander, Panulowicz, Barr, Barton, Belton, Bennett, Bentley, Benton, Beverly, Blackman, Bodie, Bruce, Burns, Carpenter, Carson, Chokus, Clark H., Collins, Cooper, Corbett, Dempsey, Dickey, Dollar, Drenner, Dubnik, Evstration, England, Irwin, Fleming, Fry, Gaines, Gardner, Glanton, Gravely, Harrell, Hatchett, Hawkins, Hitchens, Holcomb, Holmes, Houston, Hughley, Jackson M., Jaspers, Jones J., Kelly, Kendrick, Knight, LaHood, LaRicchia, Lumsden, Martin, Mathiak, McCall, Morris G., Newton, Nix, Oliver, Parrish, Parsons, Petrie, Perkel, Powell, Reeves, Rhodes, Rich, Ridley, Rutledge, Scoggins, Setzler, Silcox, Smith L., Smith R., Smith V., Smyrie, Stevens R., Tankersley, Tanner, Tarvin, Taylor, Thomas E., Trammell, Washburn, Watson, Welch, Werkheiser, Wiedauer, Williams A, Williamson, Yurda, Allen, Bazemore, Bernau, Cannon, Carter, Clark D, Clark J, Cook, Davis, Douglas, Dreyer, Donahue, Earhart, Evans, Frazier, Gilligan, Gertler, Henson, Hill, Hogan, Holland, Holly, Hobson, Howard, Hutchinson, Jackson D, Jones S, Jones T, Jones V, Couch, Kennard, Lopez Romero, Marin, McLean, McLaurin, McLeod, Meeks, Mitchell, Moore B, Moore C, Morris M, Nelson, Wen, Paris, Prince, Pullen, Robichaux, Saints, Schofield, Scott, Shannon, Sharper, Smith M, Thomas A. M, Turner, Walensky, Wilkerson, Williams M.F., Williams N, Wilson, Beasley Teague, Bonner,
Yes.
Buckner, Burchett, Caldwell,
Yes. Yes.
Cantrell,
Yes.
Dickerson,
Yes.
Dukes, Gamble,
Yes.
Gilliard, Gordon,
No.
Green,
Yes.
Gullett,
Yes.
Jones, J.B.,
Yes.
Kirby,
Yes.
Lott,
Yes.
Mathis,
Yes.
Metz, Momtahan, Park,
No.
Pruitt, Rogers, Singleton,
No.
Stovall,
Yes.
Williams R, Beasley Teague,
Yes.
Bennett, Buckner,
Yes.
Burchett, Drenner, Dukes, Donahue, Gordon, Howard, Jones S, McCall, McLaurin, Metz, Oliver, Paris, Petrie, Perkel, Pruitt, Rutledge, Schofield, Scott, Sharper, Smyrie, Thomas A.M., Thomas E., Trammell, Welsh, Wilkerson, Wilson.
Members will look at the board and make sure that it is correct. Clerk will lock the machines. On the gentleman's motion, the ayes are 110, the nays are 58, and this House has agreed to the Senate substitute to House Bill 846. I'm s- Chair recognizes Representative Gravely for a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, I am going to move on House Bill 1020 to disagree. I want to tell you why right fast, because we sent over a real good bill, and thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Representative Gravely has moved that this House disagree to the Senate substitute, House Bill 1020. The clerk will read the caption.
House Bill 1020 being entitled an act to amend Chapter 5 of Title 40 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to driver's licenses so as to provide for license suspension for conviction of drug-related offenses.
Chair recognizes Representative Gravely to explain his motion.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. When House Bill 1020 left this House, it had bipartisan support. We were simply asking for a risk reduction program for those charged with DUI to hold them accountable for a limited driving permit. The Senate added 2 amendments, which I very much agreed with. One of the amendments was to allow for drug-related offenses to be eligible for the limited driving permit. Also, it added for third-party testing for driver's tests, which would have greatly helped us during the COVID-19 pandemic and would have lightened the burden to the state by allowing third-party testers to give the driving test. However, they removed the ALS risk reduction component to it. So what happened was they broadened the eligibility for a limited driving permit by and then also removed the accountability component that we had added. So therefore, we're going to move to disagree.
On the gentleman's motion that the House disagree to the Senate substitute to House Bill 1020, is there objection? Is there objection? The chair hears none, and this House has disagreed to the Senate substitute to House Bill 1020. Chair recognizes for a point of personal privilege Representative Terry Rogers.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Wow. The other day I said it was my last time in the well. Like Tom McCall, I guess I was wrong. But I stand before you today, and Mr. Speaker, with your introduction, you paid me the greatest compliment in the world when you called me Representative Terry Rogers. You know, I sit there and I look around, and we have Mr. Speaker, we have Mr. Leader, we have Mr. Whip, Chairman. But the greatest compliment that any of us carry is the title of Representative, because it represents the people. And speaking of Mr. Leader, Mr. Burns, I will tell you, Mr. Representative, I will tell you that I have teased you much about the only vote I ever really wish I had back was voting for you. You know that's not true. You've done a phenomenal job, and I appreciate you. And Madam Pro Tem, I don't mean to leave you out in the title thing, but seriously, Representative is a great thing. You know, as I park my car every morning during session and I come across here, I walk across and I look up at the Gold Dome, and I look at Lady Freedom up there, and I think about what that means to the people of the state of Georgia, but especially what it means to me. And I say a little prayer, and I ask God for His wisdom, and I ask Him for, guidance so that we can do the right thing, ask Him for protection. It is truly, truly one of the greatest things in the world to represent the people of Georgia, and it's something that I hope everyone remembers. You know, almost 10 years ago, people of District 10 sent me down here. And I can remember being in this well and being sworn in because it was a special election. And I just thought, wow, this is one of the greatest things in the world. But then I look back on that 10 years and I think, what have we accomplished? And wow, what a ride it has been for the state of Georgia. And I want to recap some of the things that we've done together. For 7 straight years, Georgia has been the #1 state in the nation for business. We have created close to 900,000 new private sector jobs. We have fully funded QBE. We have had one of the lowest unemployment rates in the state's history until lately, and we all know what happened there. Something totally and completely beyond our control. We have taken a prison system and a judicial system and turned it around and become the height of the nation. We've just done some phenomenal things for the people of Georgia. We've passed tax cuts that have benefited every Georgian. We've protected the unborn. We've strengthened Second Amendment rights. I know some people disagree. That's my opinion. But we have truly all worked together to do great things in our own way. And I thank you all for giving me the opportunity to be a part of that. You know, there's so many people to thank as I stand here today. First and foremost, I'd like to thank the good Lord for giving me the opportunity to be here. As a kid growing up on military bases across the world, I saw the sacrifices that were necessary to keep this country great. I experienced those. And I thought someday I'd like to be able to give back, and God has truly blessed me by giving me that opportunity. I'd like to thank my wife and my kids. 10 years ago, like I said, when I was sworn in, they were here with me. And, it's just been crazy. Things have changed. At that time, my daughter-in-law, Amy, was pregnant with our first grandchild. We now have 8. And it's just been a true blessing. Have they suffered along the way? Yeah. There's no one in here whose family has not borne the brunt of you being away from them at times. So always be grateful for them. I've had the pleasure and the honor of serving as a floor leader back-to-back, some people think I'm crazy, for 2 great governors, Governor Nathan Deal and Governor Brian Kemp. I think that history will record that Nathan Deal will go down as one of the greatest governors in Georgia history, and Brian Kemp is well on his way towards making his own mark. I've also had the pleasure of serving with great leadership, including this man behind me. Speaker David Ralston has been the glue that has held this legislature and this House together. He's done things through thick and thin to make certain that this House is always the leader, cohesive. We try to get along, and he has been just a great leader. Governor Deal, Governor Kemp, Speaker Ralston, and others have all served as mentors towards me, but more importantly, they've served as my friend, and I thank them for that. It's to the rest of you, to my colleagues, all of you. It's kind of a tough sort of situation for me because there's so many people in here that I'm so very close to that I want to name out. But I can't, because if I do, I'm going to miss somebody, and I don't want to do that. There is not a person in this room, whether we agree or disagree, that I don't have tremendous respect for and love for. We are truly a family in this body. And we've been through some tough times together, but there is nothing that can't be accomplished if we don't work together. To my friends out in the hall, they've been great. They have been sources of information. They've been sources of friends. They're a valued asset to us. We're all part of a teamwork here together. We're part of a family. To the staff of this great legislature, now I say that I don't want to point at one person in particular, but I'm going to break my own rule right now. Thomas James, my administrative assistant, is absolutely phenomenal. I wish I could clone her. She, for 6 years now, I tell you what, she has always answered the call. Sometimes state employees get a bad rap. Not this one right here. She's great. To the people of the 10th District, they've blessed me. They sent me down here 5 times, and they're great people, and I just a tremendous amount of gratitude. A lot of people have asked me what's ahead. Well, the answer is I don't know. You know, it's kind of crazy. I do know that I'm very excited about an opportunity that Governor Kemp has given me to chair the Film, Music, and Digital Entertainment Commission. I look forward to that. I was talking with someone the other day and said, you know, you're the only person I know that doesn't have a plan necessarily for leaving here. Well, that's probably true. I'm the only person I know that is leaving an $18,000 a year job to take a job that pays nothing and voted myself a pay cut on the way out. So, you know, there's a lot to be said about that. So, but I am excited about the future ahead, and I will tell you that I'll be back and I'll be seeing you somewhere around. As I leave, I'd like to leave you with a little bit of advice or a little bit of guidance, and I think it's something that we can all benefit from. The speaker gave it to us when we were doing the Rural Development Council, and it's the first motto of the colony of Georgia. It was put together by the trustees of the state, along with General Oglethorpe. And it's something that I think every one of us could try to live up to. The motto is not for self, but for others. If we keep that in mind, I think we're going to do okay. I'm going to leave you with a quote from General Douglas MacArthur during his farewell speech. He said, "Old soldiers never die, they just sort of fade away." Well, I think the same can be said for legislators. It's time for this legislator to fade away, and I'll leave you with that. God bless the United States of America and this great state. Thank you for everything. I'll see you around. Mr. Speaker, I yield the well.
Chair recognizes Representative Chokus for a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that we agree with the Senate substitute to House Bill 901.
Representative Chokus has moved that this House agree to the Senate substitute to House Bill 901. The clerk will read the caption.
House Bill 901 to be titled Act to amend Part 1 of Article 1 of Chapter 23 of Title 50 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to general provisions regarding the Georgia Environmental Finance Authority.
Chair recognizes Representative Chokus to explain the Senate substitute.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This body passed House Bill 901 with only one dissenting vote. The Senate has added language in its substitute that basically codifies the governor's executive order. Basically, what this does is allow the state treasurer to invest bond proceeds in money market funds for a higher return. That's it. With that, if there are no questions, I'll yield the will and ask for favorable consideration.
You do not appear to have any questions. On the gentleman's motion that the House agree to the Senate substitute to House Bill 901, all those in favor will vote aye. Those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines and call the roll.
Alexander, Anulowicz, Barr, Barton, Belton, Benton, Bennett, Bentley, Beverly, Blackman, Bodie, Bruce, Burns, Carpenter, Carson, Chokus, Clark H., Collins, Cooper, Corbett, Dempsey, Dickey, Dollar, Drenner, Dubnik, F. Strachan, England, Irwin, Fleming, Fry, Gaines, Gardner, Glanton, Gravely, Harrell, Hatchett, Hawkins, Hitchens, Holcomb, Holmes, Houston, Hughley, Jackson M., Jaspers, Jones J., Kelly, Kendrick, Knight, LaHood, LaRicchia, Lumsden, Martin, Mathiak, McCall, Morris G., Newton, Nix, Oliver, Parrish, Parsons, Petrie, Perkel, Powell, Reeves, Rhodes, Rich, Ridley, Rutledge, Scoggins, Setzler, Silcox, Smith L., Smith R., Smith V., Smyrie, Stevens, Tankersley, Tanner, Tarvin, Taylor, Thomas E., Trammell, Washburn, Watson, Welch, Werkheiser, Wiedauer, Williams A., Williamson, Yerda, Allen, Bazemore, Bernau, Cannon, Carter, Clark D., Clark J., Cook, Davis, Douglas, Dreyer, Donahue, Earhart, Evans, Frazier, Gilligan, Gertler, Henson, Hill, Hogan, Holland, Holly, Hobson, Howard, Hutchinson, Jackson D., Jones S., Jones T., Jones V., Couch, Kennard, Lopez Romero, Marin, McLean, McLaurin, McLeod, Meeks, Mitchell, Moore B., Moore C., Morris M., Nelson, Huen, Paris, Prince, Pullen, Robichaud, Saints, Schofield, Scott, Shannon, Sharper, Smith M., Thomas A. M., Turner, Walensky, Wilkerson, Williams M.F., Williams N., Wilson, Beasley Teague, Bonner,
Yes.
Buckner,
Yes.
Burchett, Caldwell,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Cantrell,
Yes.
Dickerson,
Yes.
Dukes,
Yes.
Gamble,
Yes.
Gilliard,
Yes.
Gordon,
Yes.
Green, Gullett, Jones,
Yes.
J.B., Kirby,
Yes.
Lott,
Yes.
Mathis,
Yes.
Metz,
Yes.
Momtahan, Park,
Yes.
Pruitt, Rogers, Singleton, Stovall,
Yes. Yes.
Williams R.,
Yes.
Barr, Beasley Teague,
Yes.
Bodie, Burns, Cannons, Dollar, Dreyer, Efstration, Fleming, Frazier, Gardner, Gravely, Green, Henson,
Yes.
Jackson M., Jones J.B., Jones V., Kennard, Larikia, Mathiak, Momtahan, Nelson,
Yes.
Wen, Paris, Prince, Reeves, Rogers,
Yes.
Rutledge, Smith V, Thomas A.M., Walensky, Williams A, Williams M.F., Williamson.
Members will check the board and make sure it's accurate. And the clerk will lock the machine. On the gentleman's motion that this House agree to the Senate substitute House Bill 901, the ayes are 168, the nays are 1, and this House has agreed to the Senate substitute. Chair recognizes Chairman Gerald Green for a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members of the House. I move that the House agree to the Senate substitute to House Resolution 1167.
Chairman Green has moved that this House agree to the Senate substitute to House Resolution 1167. Clerk will read the caption.
House Resolution 1167 authorizing conveyance of certain state-owned real property located in Glynn County.
Chair recognizes Chairman Green to explain his motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. When we left here in March, we had passed over House Resolution 1167, which is the annual conveyances for the state properties of the state of Georgia. The Senate has added their conveyances to the bill, to the House resolution, and you will see those listed there for Charlton and Doherty and Fulton and Gwinnett, Hall, Miller, Paulding, and Richmond County. Mr. Speaker, if there's no questions, I'll yield the well.
You do not appear to have any questions. On the gentleman's motion that this House agree to the Senate substitute, House Resolution 1167, all those in favor of the motion will vote aye, those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines and call the roll.
Alexander, Anulowicz, Barr, Barton, Belton, Bennett, Bentley, Benton, Beverly, Blackman, Bodie, Bruce, Burns, Carpenter, Carson, Chokus, Clark H., Collins, Cooper, Corbett, Dempsey, Dickey, Dollar, Drenner, Dubnik, Evstration, England, Irwin, Fleming, Fry, Gaines, Gardner, Glanton, Gravely, Harrell, Hatchett, Hawkins, Hitchens, Holcomb, Holmes, Houston, Hughley, Jackson M., Jaspers, Jones J., Kelly, Kendrick, Knight, LaHood, Laricchia, Lumsden, Martin, Mathiak, McCall, Morris G., Newton, Nix, Oliver, Parrish, Parsons, Petrie, Perkel, Powell, Reeves, Rhodes, Rich, Ridley, Rutledge, Scoggins, Setzler, Silcox, Smith L., Smith R., Smith V., Smyrie, Stevens R., Smith R., Smith V., Smyrie, Stevens R., Tankersley, Tanner, Tarvin, Taylor, Thomas E., Trammell, Washburn, Watson, Welch, Werkheiser, Wiedauer, Williams A., Williamson, Yurda, Allen, Bazemore, Bernau, Cannon, Carter, Clark D., Clark J., Cook, Davis, Douglas, Dreyer, Donahue, Earhart, Evans, Frazier, Gilligan, Gertler, Henson, Hill, Hogan, Holland, Holly, Hobson, Howard, Hutchinson, Jackson D., Jones S., Jones T., Jones V., Couch, Kennard, Lopez Romero, McLean, McLaurin, McLeod, Meeks, Mitchell, Moore B., Moore C., Morris M., Nelson, Wen, Paris, Prince, Pullen, Robichaux, Saints, Schofield, Scott, Shannon, Sharper, Smith M., Thomas A.M., Turner, Walensky, Wilkerson, Williams M.F., Williams N., Wilson, Beasley Teague,
Yes.
Bonner,
Yes.
Buckner,
Yes.
Burchett,
Yes.
Caldwell,
Yes.
Campbell, Cantrell,
Yes. Yes.
Dickerson, Dukes,
Yes.
Gamble, Gilliard,
Yes. Yes.
Green, Gullett,
Yes.
Jones, J.B.,
Yes.
Kirby,
Yes.
Lott, Mathis,
Yes.
Metz, Momtahan, Park, Pruitt,
Yes.
Rogers, Singleton, Stovall,
Yes.
Williams R.,
Yes.
Cannon, Dempsey, Dickerson, Dollar, Estration, Gravely, Harrell, Hatchett, Henson, Hitchens, Holcomb, Hutchinson, Jackson D., Jones J., Jones T., Kendrick, Mathiak, McLaurin, Metz, Nelson, Oliver, Parrish, Reeves, Rogers, Scott, Setzler, Smith L., Smith R., Smith V., Thomas E.
Members will look at the board and make sure that it's accurate. And the clerk will lock the machine on the gentleman's motion. The ayes are 167, the nays are 0, and this House has agreed to the Senate substitute to House Resolution 1167. Chair recognizes Chairman Dollar for a motion.
Speaker, I move that we agree to House Bill 1037 as amended, as a Senate substitute.
Chairman Dollar has moved that this House agree to the Senate substitute to House Bill 1037. The clerk will read the caption.
House Bill 1037 to be entitled an act to amend Code Section 48740.26 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to the Georgia Entertainment Industry Investment Act.
Chair recognizes Chairman Dollar to explain his motion.
Thank you, Speaker. Members, this is the film tax credit update bill. It's very similar to the version we sent over to the Senate. They didn't add anything new. I guess they thought it was a little bit too perfect, so they did remove some language. But I've talked to both Economic Development and Department of Revenue, and they've told me that they can implement this bill in this version. With that, Mr. Speaker, I'll take any questions.
You do not appear to have any questions.
Thank you.
On the gentleman's motion that this House agree to the Senate substitute, House Bill 1037, those in favor will vote aye. Those opposed will vote no. And the clerk will unlock the machines and call the roll.
Alexander, Allen, Anulowitz, Barr, Barton, Belton, Bennett, Bentley, Benton, Beverly, Blackman, Bodie, Bruce, Burns, Carpenter, Carson, Chokus, Clark H., Collins, Cooper, Corbett, Dempsey, Dickey, Dollar, Drenner, Dubnik, Efstration, England, Irwin, Fleming, Fry, Gaines, Gardner, Glanton, Gravely, Harrell, Hatchett, Hawkins, Hitchens, Holcomb, Holmes, Houston, Hughley, Jackson M., Jaspers, Jones, Kelly, Kendrick, Knight, LaHood, Laricchia, Lumsden, Martin, Mathiak, McCall, Morris G., Newton, Nix, Oliver, Parrish, Parsons, Petrie, Perkel, Powell, Reeves, Rhodes, Rich, Ridley, Rutledge, Scoggins, Setzler, Silcox, Smith L., Smith R., Smith V., Smyrie, Stevens R., Tankersley, Tanner, Tarvin, Taylor, Thomas E., Trammell, Washburn, Watson, Welch, Werkheiser, Wiedauer, Williams A., Williamson, Yerda, Bazemore, Bernal, Cannon, Carter, Clark D., Clark J., Cook, Davis, Douglas, Dreyer, Donahue, Earhart, Evans, Frazier, Gilligan, Gertler, Henson, Hill, Hogan, Holland, Holly, Hobson, Howard, Hutchinson, Jackson D., Jones S., Jones T., Jones V., Kausch, Kennard, Lopez Romero, McLean, McLaurin, McLeod, Meeks, Mitchell, Moore B., Moore C., Morris M., Nelson, Wen, Paris, Prince, Pullen, Robichaud, Saints, Schofield, Scott, Shannon, Sharper, Smith M., Thomas A.M., Turner, Walensky, Wilkerson, Williams M.F., Williams N., Wilson, Beasley Teague,
Yes.
Bonner,
Yes.
Buckner, Burchett,
Yes.
Caldwell,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Cantrell,
Yes.
Dickerson,
Yes.
Dukes, Gamble,
Yes.
Gilliard,
Yes.
Gordon,
Yes.
Green, Gullett,
Yes. Yes.
Jones, J.B.,
Yes.
Kirby,
Yes.
Lott, Mathis,
Yes.
Metz,
Yes.
Momtahan, Park,
Yes.
Pruitt, Rogers, Singleton, Stovall,
Yes. Yes.
Williams R.,
Yes.
Allen, Barr, Buckner, Cannon, Carson, Chokus, Dukes,
Yes.
Frazier, Gardner, Hogan, Holland, Houston, Jones J., Jones T., LaHood, McCall, Momtahan, Morris G., Newton, Paris, Rogers, Tarvin, Thomas A.M., Williams A., Williamson.
Representative Tarvin. Representative Ridley, you voted? Are you changing your vote? You're changing your vote. All right, anybody else? Any other members? What purpose does Representative Holland rise?
Mr. Speaker, pursuant to Rule 133, I ask to be recused from this vote.
Lady has that right, and the journal will so reflect. The clerk will lock the machines. On the motion that this House agree to the Senate substitute to House Bill 1037, the ayes are 154, the nays are 10, and this House has agreed to the Senate substitute to House Bill 1037. Chair recognizes Chairman Silcox for a motion.
I make a motion, Mr. Speaker, that we agree to the substitute for House Bill 1090.
Chairman Silcox has moved that this House agree to the Senate substitute to House Bill 1090. The clerk will read the caption.
House Bill 1090 to be entitled an act to amend Chapter 1 of Title 34 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to general provisions regarding labor and industrial relations so as to revise provisions regarding employers' obligation to provide break time for an employee.
Chair recognizes Chairman Silcox to explain the motion.
I bring to you the substitute to House Bill 1090 this afternoon. This bill, there were actually 3 different versions of this bill, and so I worked over the break actually to perfect this bill so it is consistent with federal law. It's still substantially the same bill. It is going to require all employers to provide a space other than a restroom for women to express breast milk, thus ensuring that all of our babies in Georgia get the very best nutrition they can, and hopefully we will have lower health care costs in the future. There is an exception for small companies with less than 50 employees if it imposes an undue burden on that employer. If there are no questions, Mr. Speaker, I'll yield the well.
Don't appear to have any questions.
I'll yield the well. Thank you.
On the lady's motion that this House agree to the Senate substitute to House Bill 1090, all those in favor of the motion will vote aye. Those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines.
Alexander, Anulowicz, Barr, Barton, Belton, Bennett, Bentley, Benton, Beverly, Blackman, Bodie, Bruce, Burns, Carpenter, Carson, Chokas, Clark H., Collins, Cooper, Corbett, Dempsey, Dickey, Dollar, Drenner, Dubnik, Efstration, England, Irwin, Fleming, Fry, Gaines, Gardner, Glanton, Gravely, Harrell, Hatchett, Hawkins, Hitchens, Holcomb, Holmes, Houston, Hughley, Jackson M., Jaspers, Jones J., Kelly, Kendrick, Knight, LaHood, LaRicchia, Lumsden, Martin, Mathiak, McCall, Morris G., Newton, Nix, Oliver, Parrish, Parsons, Petrie, Perkel, Powell, Reeves, Rhodes, Rich, Ridley, Rutledge, Scoggins, Setzler, Silcox, Smith L., Smith R., Smith V., Smyrie, Stevens R., Tankersley, Tanner, Tarvin, Taylor, Thomas E., Trammell, Washburn, Watson, Welch, Werkheiser, Wiedauer, Williams A., Williamson, Yerda, Allen, Bazemore, Bernal, Cannon, Carter, Clark D, Clark J, Cook, Davis, Douglas, Dreyer, Donahue, Earhart, Evans, Frazier, Gilligan, Gertler, Henson, Hill, Hogan, Holland, Holly, Hobson, Howard, Hutchinson, Jackson D, Jones S, Jones T, Jones V, Couch, Kennard, Lopez Romero, McLean, McLaurin, McLeod, Meeks, Mitchell, Moore B, Moore C, Morris M, Nelson, Wen, Paris, Prince, Pullen, Robichaud, Saints, Schofield, Scott, Shannon, Sharper, Smith M, Thomas A.M., Turner, Walensky, Wilkerson, Williams M.F., Williams N., Wilson, Beasley Teague, Bonner,
Yes.
Buckner, Burchett,
Yes.
Caldwell,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Cantrell,
Yes.
Dickerson,
Yes.
Dukes, Gamble,
Yes.
Gilliard,
Yes.
Gordon,
Yes.
Green,
Yes.
Gullett, Jones J.B., Kirby,
Yes.
Lott, Mathis,
Yes.
Metz,
Yes.
Momtahan, Park, Pruitt,
Yes.
Rogers, Singleton, Stovall,
Yes.
Williams R,
Yes.
Anulowitz, Barr, Beasley Teague,
Yes.
Beverly, Carter, Clark H, Cook, Cooper, Davis, Dempsey, Dukes,
Yes.
Donahue, Fleming, Gaines, Gilligan, Gullett,
Yes.
Howard, Jones T, Kendrick, Kennard, Kirby,
Yes.
Lott, Meeks, Newton, Nix, Petrie, Perkel, Setzler, Singleton, Smyrie, Tanner, Tarvin, Taylor, Walensky.
Okay, members will look at the board, make sure it's accurate. The clerk will lock the machine. On the motion that this House agree to the Senate substitute to House Bill 1090, the ayes are 150, the nays are 13, and this House has agreed. Chair recognizes Representative Gravely.
Mr. Speaker, I would move that the House insist on House Bill 1020 and request that a conference committee be enacted.
Representative Gravely moves that the House insist on its position in disagreeing to the Senate substitute to House Bill 1020 and that a committee of conference be appointed. The clerk will read the caption.
House Bill 1020 to be entitled an act to amend Chapter 5 of Title 40 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to driver's licenses to provide for license suspension for conviction of drug-related offenses.
Is there any objection to the gentleman's motion? The chair hears none, and this House has insisted the chair appoints as a committee of conference Representative Gravely of the 67th, Chairman Allen Powell of the 32nd, and Representative Momtahan of the 17th. Chair recognizes Chairman Jaspers for a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I make a motion that the House agree to the conference committee report on Senate Bill 68.
Chairman Jaspers has moved that the court of Chairman Jaspers has moved that the House adopt the Committee of Conference report on Senate Bill 68. The clerk will read the Conference Committee report.
The committees of conference on SB 68 recommend that both the Senate and the House of Representatives receive from their positions that the attached committees of conference substitute to SB 68 be adopted. For the Senate, Sims of the 12th, Martin of the 9th. For the House, Jaspers the 11th, Tanner of the 9th, Stovall of the 74th.
Chair recognizes Chairman Jaspers to explain the Conference Committee report on Senate Bill 68.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The conference committee has 4 bills in it that y'all have heard. One of the best ones in Section 1, Freddie Powell Sims, is creating a financial management system for school systems. If they have irregularities in their thing, it really shows how they're going to deal with it, requires training. It's a great addition to what school systems do in financial. Section 2 is Chairman Tanner's House Bill 32. It's that language moving the chief turnaround officer to the Georgia Department of Education from the State Board. Section 3 is Chairman Minton's bill, House Bill 86, regarding teacher performance ratings. We've talked about that a number of times. And Section 4 is Representative Montahan's bill. They will all appreciate that the language that each school board shall provide public comment during every monthly meeting. And that's my bill. I'll be glad to answer any questions, Mr. Speaker.
On the adoption, you have no questions.
Thank you. I yield the will and ask for your favorable consideration.
On the adoption of the Conference Committee report on Senate Bill 68, all those in favor of the adoption will vote yes. Those opposed will vote no. And the clerk will unlock the machine.
Alexander, Anulowitz, Barr, Barton, Belton, Bennett, Bentley, Benton, Beverly, Blackman, Bodie, Bruce, Burns, Carpenter, Carson, Chokus, Clark H., Collins, Cooper, Corbett, Dempsey, Dickey, Dollar, Drenner, Dubnik, Evstration, England, Irwin, Fleming, Fry, Gaines, Gardner, Glanton, Gravely, Harrell, Hatchett, Hawkins, Hitchens, Holcomb, Holmes, Houston, Hughley, Jackson M., Jaspers, Jones J., Kelly, Kendrick, Knight, LaHood, LaRicchia, Lumsden, Martin, Mathiak, McCall, Morris G., Newton, Nix, Oliver, Parrish, Parsons, Petrie, Perkel, Powell, Reeves, Rhodes, Rich, Ridley, Rutledge, Scoggins, Setzler, Silcox, Smith L., Smith R., Smith V., Smyrie, Stevens R., Tankersley, Tanner, Tarvin, Taylor, Thomas E., Trammell, Washburn, Watson, Welch, Werkheiser, Wiedauer, Williams A., Williamson, Yerda, Allen, Bazemore, Bernau, Cannon, Carter, Clark D., Clark J., Cook, Davis, Douglas, Dreyer, Donahue, Earhart, Evans, Frazier, Gilligan, Gertler, Henson, Hill, Hogan, Holland, Holly, Hobson, Howard, Hutchinson, Jackson D., Jones S., Jones T., Jones V., Couch, Kennard, Lopez Romero, McLean, McLaurin, McLeod, Meeks, Mitchell, Moore B., Moore C., Morris M., Nelson, Huen, Paris, Prince, Pullen, Robichaud, Saints, Schofield, Scott, Shannon, Sharper, Smith M., Thomas A.M., Turner, Walensky, Wilkerson, Williams M.F., Williams N., Wilson, Beasley T., Bonner, Buckner,
Yes.
Burchett,
Yes.
Caldwell,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Cantrell,
Yes.
Dickerson,
Yes.
Dukes,
Yes.
Gamble,
Yes.
Gilliard,
Yes.
Gordon,
Yes.
Green, Gullett,
Yes.
Jones, J.B., Kirby,
Yes.
Mathis,
Yes.
Metz, Momtahan,
Yes.
Park, Pruitt, Rogers, Singleton, Stovall, Williams
Yes.
R.,
Yes.
Allen, Barr, Beasley Teague.
Yes.
Bruce. Cannon. Carter. Clark D. Cook. Dempsey. Dryer. Donahue. Estration. England. Gaines. Green.
Yes.
Hatchett. Hobson. Houston. Howard. Jackson D. Jackson M. Jones JB.
Yes.
Jones S. Jones T. Jones V. McLean. Metz. Newton. Wen. Petrie. Powell. Reeves. Ridley. Rogers. Rutledge. Sharper. Smith M. Smyrie. Tarvin. Thomas E.
Members will look at the board and make sure it's correct. Chairman Barr is upstairs. Did we get him? Who is that trying to vote? Chairman Newton is voting yes. Any others? Any others? Clerk will lock the machine on the adoption of the conference committee report on Senate Bill 68. The ayes are 159, the nays are 3, and this House has adopted the conference committee report. Chair recognizes Representative Wiedauer for a motion.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the House move to agree to the Senate amendment to House Bill 855.
Representative Wiedauer has moved that this House agree to the Senate amendment to House Bill 855. The clerk will read the caption.
House Bill 855 to be entitled an act to amend Part 3 of Article 6 of Chapter 2, Title 20, the official code of Georgia Annotated relating to educational programs, so as to direct the State Board of Education to determine eligibility criteria for foster care students to receive special education and related services.
Chair recognizes Representative Wiedauer to explain his motion.
Colleagues, this is House Bill 855, which passed out of here 166-0 and out of the Senate 49-0. It merely places immediacy on the evaluation of foster care students as they come into school. This just changes the date from January 1, 2021 to August 1, 2021.
You do not appear, maybe you do have a question.
I'll yield for one.
Is that Representative Saines?
Does the gentleman yield?
Sure.
Isn't it true that this representative makes as good of a roommate as he does a lawmaker, and that this bill reflects it?
I'm sure the gentleman knows which of what he speaks. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'll yield the well.
Gentleman has yielded the well. On the gentleman's motion that the House agree to the Senate amendment to House Bill 855, all those in favor will vote aye. Those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines and call the roll.
Alexander, Anulowitz, Barr, Barton, Belton, Bennett, Bentley, Benton, Beverly, Blackman, Bodie, Bruce, Burns, Carpenter, Carson, Chokas, Clark H., Collins, Cooper, Corbett, Dempsey, Dickey, Dollar, Drenner, Dubnik, Efstration, England, Irwin, Fleming, Fry, Gaines, Gardner, Glanton, Gravely, Harrell, Hatchett, Hawkins, Hitchens, Holcomb, Holmes, Houston, Hughley, Jackson M., Jaspers, Jones J., Kelly, Kendrick, Knight, LaHood, LaRicchia, Lumsden, Martin, Mathiak, McCall, Morris G., Newton, Nix, Oliver, Parrish, Parsons, Petrie, Perkel, Powell, Reeves, Rhodes, Rich, Ridley, Rutledge, Scoggins, Setzler, Silcox, Smith L., Smith R., Smith V., Smyrie, Stevens R., Tankersley, Tanner, Tarvin, Taylor, Thomas E., Trammell, Washburn, Watson, Welch, Werkheiser, Wiedauer, Williams A., Williamson, Yurda, Allen, Bazemore, Bernau, Cannon, Carter, Clark D., Clark J., Cook, Davis, Douglas, Dreyer, Donahue, Earhart, Evans, Frazier, Gilligan, Gertler, Henson, Hill, Hogan, Holland, Holly, Hobson, Howard, Hutchinson, Jackson D., Jones S., Jones T., Jones V., Couch, Kennard, Lopez Romero, McLean, McLaurin, McLeod, Meeks, Mitchell, Moore B., Morris C., Morris M., Nelson, Huen, Paris, Prince, Pullen, Robichaud, Saints, Schofield, Scott, Shannon, Sharper, Smith M., Thomas A.M., Turner, Walensky, Wilkerson, Williams M.F., Williams M., Wilson, Beasley Teague,
Yes.
Bonner, Buckner, Burchett, Caldwell,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Cantrell,
Yes.
Dickerson,
Yes.
Dukes,
Yes.
Gamble,
Yes.
Gilliard,
Yes.
Gordon,
Yes.
Green,
Yes.
Gullett, Jones, J.B.,
Yes.
Kirby,
Yes.
Lott,
Yes.
Mathis,
Yes.
Metz,
Yes.
Pomptahan, Park,
Yes.
Pruitt, Rogers, Singleton, Stovall, Williams R,
Yes.
Allen, Bazemore, Buckner, Clark D, Collins, Cook, Fry, Gravely, Houston, Howard, Hughley, McLaurin, Momptahan, Newton, Ridley, Rogers, Singleton, Stovall, Taylor, Thomas E. Williamson.
Members will look at the board and make sure that it is accurate. Clerk will lock the machines. On the gentleman's motion, the ayes are 164, the nays are 0, and this House has agreed to the Senate amendment to House Bill 855. Chair recognizes Representative Gaines for a motion.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the House agree to the Senate substitute to House Bill 1070.
Representative Gaines has moved that this House agree to the Senate substitute to House Bill 1070. The clerk will read the caption.
House Bill 1070 to be titled an act to amend Article 3 of Chapter 3 of Title 44 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated related to condominiums so as to provide new insurance policy disclosure requirements for condominium associations.
Chair recognizes Representative Gaines to explain his motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. House Bill 1070, this body passed 157 to 4 back in March. The Senate made very minor clarification language that doesn't alter any parts of the bill, and unanimously passed it earlier this week. And that's the only changes. I yield the will.
You do not appear to have any questions. On the gentleman's motion that this House agree to the Senate substitute to House Bill 1070, all those in favor will vote aye. Those opposed will vote no. And the clerk will unlock the machines and call the roll.
Alexander, Anulowicz, Ballinger, Barr, Barton, Belton, Bennett, Bentley, Benton, Beverly, Blackman, Bodie, Bruce, Burns, Carpenter, Carson, Chokus, Clark H., Collins, Cooper, Corbett, Dempsey, Dickey, Dollar, Drenner, Dubnik, Efstration, England, Irwin, Fleming, Fry, Gaines, Gardner, Glanton, Gravely, Harrell, Hatchett, Hawkins, Hitchens, Holcomb, Holmes, Houston, Hughley, Jackson M., Jaspers, Jones J., Kelly, Kendrick, Knight, LaHood, LaRicchia, Lumsden, Martin, Mathiak, McCall, Morris G., Newton, Nix, Oliver, Parrish, Parsons, Petrie, Perkel, Powell, Reeves, Rhodes, Rich, Ridley, Rutledge, Scoggins, Setzler, Silcox, Smith L., Smith R., Smith V., Smyrie, Stevens R., Tankersley, Tanner, Tarvin, Thomas E., Trammell, Washburn, Watson, Welch, Werkheiser, Wiedauer, Williams A., Williamson, Yerda, Allen, Bazemore, Bernau, Cannon, Carter, Clark D., Clark J., Cook, Davis, Douglas, Dreyer, Donahue, Earhart, Evans, Frazier, Gilligan, Gertler, Henson, Hill, Hogan, Holland, Hobby, Hobson, Howard, Hutchinson, Jackson D., Jones S., Jones T., Jones V., Couch, Kennard, Lopez Romero, McLean, McLaurin, McLeod, Meeks, Mitchell, Moore B., Morris C., Morris M., Nelson, Huen, Paris, Prince, Pullen, Robichaux, Saints, Schofield, Scott, Shannon, Sharper, Smith M., Thomas A.M., Turner, Walensky, Wilkerson, Williams M.F., Williams N., Wilson, Beasley Teague, Bonner,
Yes. Yes.
Buckner,
Yes.
Burchett, Caldwell,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Cantrell, Dickerson,
Yes.
Dukes,
Yes.
Gamble,
Yes.
Gilliard,
Yes.
Gordon,
Yes.
Green,
Yes.
Gullett, Jones J.B., Kirby,
Yes.
Lott,
Yes.
Mathis, Metz, Momtahan, Park, Pruitt, Rogers, Singleton, Stovall,
Yes.
Williams R.,
Yes.
Barr, Clark D., Cook, Dempsey, Dubnik, England, Howard, Jones J.B., Jones
Yes.
T., Kelly, Martin, McCall, McLean, Morris M., Paris, Rhodes, Rogers, Setzler, Smyrie, Stovall, Tanner, Taylor, Thomas E., Williams A.
Members will look at the board and make sure it's correct. Clerk will lock the machine on the gentleman's motion. The ayes are 162, the nays are 1, and this House has agreed to the Senate substitute to House Bill 1070. This House will be in recess until 5:50 p.m.